Elden Ring Nightreign is coming in 2025, and while the initial reception has been mixed, I'm very excited for whatever this game is going to be. While many are still referring to it as a battle royale, it's been confirmed that this is not the case, and that the only battle royale element of this game will be the night tide that closes in on us as we go through the 3-day cycle. A more accurate genre to place Nightreign into would be that of a rouge-lite, where you start your first run of the cycle completely fresh, but with each subsequent run, you gain relics that provide you with some kind of advantage in your next attempt to tackle the Night Lord. While these will be immensely useful, especially if you choose to play the game solo, arguably the most important part of succeeding in Nightreign will be synergizing the unique abilities of each player character in your party in order to increase your damage output and overall survivability. With this in mind, we thought it would be fun to examine the different confirmed characters we have to choose from, along with their abilities, as well as speculate on the other classes and what their abilities could potentially be, based on both the gameplay reveal trailer and the various sources who have already been hands-on with Nightreign. The Wilder is the poster child for Elden Ring Nightreign, and it's said to be the standard all-around character, meant to be used by players who want an even gameplay experience between strength and speed. Given the screenshots and scenes we've gotten a look at, I believe we'll most likely be forced into starting the first run of the game as the Wilder, in order to introduce us to this game's story and concepts. His ability allows him to use a chain whip to better position yourself against your enemies. You can either pull enemies toward you so that your team can overwhelm them with a mix of abilities and ultimates, or whip yourself around larger enemies, so you can dodge their attacks and set up your own. The Wilder's ultimate attack is called the Wedge of Invasion, and sees him charge up an explosive crossbow bolt sitting on his gauntlet in order to deal significant damage from what seems to be mid-distance. The explosion also seems to stagger bosses, or at least force them to react to the blow they've been dealt. Both of these attacks serve to help the team stack damage and improve the Wilder's survivability, making them a strong choice for solo runs. The Duchess is the only other class we see getting what seems to be their own cutscene, but I'm willing to bet that once we get our hands on the game, everyone will get their chance to shine. Thanks to one of our commenters, Cordyceps182, we believe it's extremely likely that the masked maiden we see in the trailer for Nightreign, that looks uncannily like Dark Souls 3's Firekeeper in a white traveler's cloak, is actually the Duchess. Comparing what little we can see of her mask points us in this direction. The Duchess seems to be inspired by Bloodborne based on her clothing and playstyle, as she's meant to be a more agile character, and even has access to the Bloodborne quickstep, instead of the standard roll you'd expect from Elden Ring. Her small dagger would have you think she's not a large damage dealer, but this is not the case in a team setting. The Duchess's restage ability actually reactivates the last triggered ability against an enemy, dealing that damage again, and according to game director Junya Ishizaki, this ability can't miss, so you will always proc that second set of damage. Her ultimate, Finale, is said to grant her team some level of invisibility in order to make traversing the map easier. I can't imagine the Duchess would be easy to use in solo play, but that might make her fun for challenge runs. Originally, I believe the Guardian to be the bulky, Great Horn Tragoth looking player character, but it seems they're the Eagle Man we've seen wielding a shield and a large halberd, and taking to the skies. I wonder if the reason for the Guardian having an eagle head is because they have some relation to the Stormlord, but given that the lore of Nightreign is only shared with Elden Ring up to the Shattering, whatever their connection, it's likely non-canon. The Guardian is a tank build with significantly slower attacks dealing heavier damage, but their utility shines through both in a solo setting and with a team. Their ability, Whirlwind, literally lifts enemies off their feet in a gust of wind, opening them up to be attacked. This Birdman's ultimate is said to be called Wings of Salvation, and is shown to us in the trailer. The Guardian flies up into the air and slams back down into an AoE attack, cracking the earth beneath them, and dealing significant damage while lowering enemy defense. According to IGN, having the Duchess double the damage on this particular attack is absolutely devastating to bosses in Nightreign, but that's likely to be tweaked before the game's release. The Recluse is one of the 2 playable characters we do not see in the trailer for Nightreign, but we know a significant amount about them due to players who have been hands-on with the game. This mage utilizes long-range spells and is said to be fairly squishy up close. Playing this character will require you to take a back row position with your team, and avoid aggro against bigger enemies. She'll be able to utilize various elements with her spells that we have to assume will deal different types of damage that will scale with enemy weaknesses. Her ability is known as Magic Cocktail, and can trigger after enough attacks are landed with a specific element, essentially creating a unique attack catering to the element that has been used. Her ultimate is called Song of the Blood Soul, and it marks your enemies so that whenever they're attacked, the Recluse siphons their HP, healing the party as they fight. An important distinction here is that there's said to be a healer in the playable characters, but I don't believe it's the Recluse, as she seems much more focused on offensive magic. From this point on, we'll be guessing the names of the rest of the playable characters, as they've not yet been revealed. So please don't assume we've somehow learned their actual titles. We're just speculating. The Bowman is what we're calling this class, clearly based around ranged physical attacks with a bow. I'm willing to bet that this archer class has superior speed to everyone but the Duchess, and will focus on quick successive shots with their bow. Interestingly, he seems to utilize the storm as well. The only special attack we see from him calls wind into his arrow, while wielding a second, much larger bow. The most obvious name for this ability would be something like Deadeye, as the shot likely deals heavy damage while also stunning the enemy, as it's shown to be able to stun a boss monster. I'm willing to bet whatever the Bowman's ultimate ability is, it's not damage based. Something more akin to giving his team a high critical hit rate, so that attacks have a chance of significant buffs. I imagine this will be another fun class for solo runs, with players finding the best ways to utilize his range against bosses. Let's be honest, we all thought this guy was Tragoth for a second, which is why I'm going to call him the Bull Goat. I've seen some argument over whether this character is another tank or if he's more of a berserker, but I believe we're looking at a straight up powerhouse meant to deal as much physical damage as possible and get out of there before getting destroyed. His armor doesn't seem to be heavy at all, even though his helmet would have you think otherwise. In the brief look we get of him, we see what I believe to be his special ability and not his ultimate. This sees the Bull Goat leap into the air, rock pressing up from the ground beneath him, and landing down on a Knight of Zamor with his great axe. I believe this is just an ability and not his ultimate, because if it were, it would be far too similar to the Guardian. However this character plays, I'm confident their ultimate attack will be the strongest damage output possible, while also putting him in a precarious situation. High risk, high reward for your team. Why, you may ask, am I calling this character the Demon instead of the Swordsman or the Samurai? It's a fair question, giving their obvious Sekiro flair, but their armor screams Rakshasa to me, and I think it would be incredibly cool to see a Samurai-type player character who's able to strike back with holy golden energy be called the Demon, so that's why I'm doing it. Fight me. We only got to see a very brief glimpse of this character, and when we did, we saw they're able to deflect attacks in Sekiro style, likely as part of their unique ability, and charge up their sword to release a blade wave of golden light. My assumption here is that this character will not be able to parry any blow against them, but that they need to use their ability, which allows them to parry in order to charge this attack. I don't believe this is their ultimate, and honestly, I don't think we've seen enough to even guess what that could be. Given that there haven't been enough unique ways to buff your party or debuff enemies, I think the Demon will be able to do one of those things. Have you ever wanted to play as Roderica? Because I'm willing to bet that's exactly what this mysterious 8th player character is like. While we haven't seen this character in the trailer, and they weren't playable in the build some lucky players got to check out, there is talk that there's a healer among the playable characters. Pair this with Ishizaki's comments about there being a player character who utilizes spirit ashes, and we can piece together their possible playstyle. I believe the summoner will be another back row character, who utilizes spirit ashes to fight their battles for them, while healing themselves and the party. The playstyle would be significantly less engaging, and maybe even a little boring in solo play. But it would be a utility character any team taking on Limveld would want along for the ride. As far as their unique attributes are concerned, I assume their ability would be some kind of team heal, while their ultimate would be a large Spirit Ash attack, possibly even summoning a dragon, much in the way we see Renala do in our battle with her. So what do you think? Does this breakdown of the player characters available to us in Elden Ring Nightreign make you more excited to get your hands on the game? What do you think of our predictions for the characters that haven't been fully revealed yet? Are you starting to see opportunities for synergies between different class abilities? Which of them do you think you'll be maining in 2025 when we get our hands on Nightreign? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and set notifications to all so you never miss out on any of our content. We look forward to seeing you again as more news trickles out about Elden Ring Nightreign.